Stay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Awaken Positive Power, where mental health matters. This week we have a special guest, Keisha Simmons. Thank you so much, Keisha, and beautiful Darcy Marta, of course, my co-host here. Welcome, 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 ladies. Before we get started, just a few things. I am an ambassador for Theraexpressions Meditation in Casper, Wyoming, where mental health matters there too. And also Keisha actually is from Wyoming, and she is part of the Theraexpressions Meditation group. So welcome, welcome on that extent too. That's how she and I actually know each other. But also, just before we get started, there is a disclaimer down below, guys. And more importantly, there is a 988 number for suicide help and mental health help in the USA. Fantastic short, brief number now. But there is also a list of numbers for Australia and Europe. No, you are never alone. Please know that. So this week, we've got another guest. Woohoo! God, I love getting guests. It's so exciting. And Keisha, my love, so I always introduce it like trauma to triumph. That can be anything, but I last week was pointed out to me that her triumph was still continuing. So I don't mean the end of anything, guys, because it's continuous recovery, isn't it? We're always continuously growing and recovering. So there's not a stop to it. I just think it sounds good, you know, the drama of trauma to triumph. So that's really where I'm sort of going. But don't ever feel like, oh my God, my triumph, I have not fully healed. We're always healing. So your trauma to triumph is just there's something dramatic's happened to you and you're here, still here. You've survived it. You've overcome it. And those tools to how you got there. Keisha has an amazing story for us. I've got goosebumps already thinking about it. So Keisha, my love, over to you. Could you tell us your trauma to triumph? And welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Hello, thank you for having me. So my story, well, my actual story of how I became on the journey of healing and in a more holistic and natural path was I had a stroke in 2016, and they just kind of chopped it up. It was a fluke thing. But I was taking a lot of medications and I still had young children at home. And I didn't want to live like that. I was a zombie. I slept all day. I, just medicate, sleep. And that was no lifestyle for me or for my children. And so
How old were you and how old were your children, can I ask?
I was 35 and I was trying to think. So my youngest was 7 and my oldest would have been what? I don't know, he's barely 16. He was able to drive, so he was still in high school. So, and I don't recommend this, please, what I'm about to say, like consult your doctor. But for me, I took myself off of everything. I cold turkeyed all the medication I was on, and started cleaning up my mind. I started seeking out more traditional ways, but all that medication, I was suicidal, I was homicidal, I was depressed, I was a mess.
And this was medication they prescribed to you to alleviate your symptoms from your stroke. And
yes.
They said that your stroke was an anomaly. It was not.
Yeah, well, I honestly believe it was. So I ended up in the hospital. Had just gotten back from a cruise and I started getting really dizzy. And so they took me to the ER and they did all the tests and the stroke protocol, heart attack, and didn't find anything. So they kept me overnight. And I cannot take narcotics, but they started pumping me with narcotics.
Okay.
And that just everything started going downhill. And what they had found was one of the veins in my left side of my cerebellum had collapsed like a straw. When you suck on it, it just collapsed. And that's where the stroke was. So 3/4 of my left cerebellum is dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep,
You're a miracle.
Yes. They told me that I would have needed 24/7 care. I would still be in a wheelchair. I would need to be either, live at home or have somebody here with me.
Wow.
They said those things, and
Look at you now. My goodness.
me being stubborn and so hard-headed, I was like, yeah, yeah, right, I'm going to prove you wrong, And
Good for you.
so, the medications were not helping me at all. It was making me worse, making my symptoms worse.
Mm.
Um,
Were you on medication before you had your stroke as well?
mm-mm,
Okay,
Nope.
so just from the stroke.
nope.
Goodness.
And so what was it that made the connection in your brain to stop all the medication?
I have no idea. It was just like a ping moment. I
Divine.
was laying on the couch. I was by myself. I was sobbing. And by then I had had my parents come and get all the weapons out of my house. In Wyoming, we carry.
Yeah, sure.
But I had them come and get everything. And just one day I was just so sad. And I'm like, this is no way to live. Like, and my dad had always talked about, more holistic ways and more natural ways. And so I just started kind of researching it one day. And I don't know, I just got this wild hair up me and was like, I'm done. I don't take pills anyways. I don't like to. I never have. I don't like taking medicine. Pain medicine has never worked on me. So I'm like, there's no purpose of this. Absolute no purpose. It's just making me worse and poisoning my body
Yeah.
and my mind. So I took myself off everything. I cold turkeyed everything. I was taking like 13 different medications.
Wow.
Goodness
And
me.
by then I had already, they with the rehab part of it, like because I had to relearn how to walk and talk and feed myself and bathe myself.
Oh, Keisha.
And
Gosh.
so I was in rehab. It was like a month, 3 weeks. And then of course, you're sent home. They got me to where I could walk. I had my goals. My main goal was to be able to walk in high heels again. Those were my favorite. But most of that I did
Awesome.
on my own. It was my own home rehabilitation, if you will,
Yeah.
that started helping me, and my determination, mind over matter kind of a thing. Like
When
I
did
said,
you first discover the meditation and other holistic
so
ways of healing? When did you
I
come
met
into that?
Candace shortly after that. It was,
Huh.
I don't even remember. It was a few months after I had been home, and kind of got my mind cleared up. And the gentleman I was dating at the time was friends with Candace, who's the owner of Thera.
Okay.
And I met her at a baby shower, and she was telling me, what she does. And I was like, yeah, right. That's crazy. Like, that's not for me, meditation. You're crazy, lady. And so she was having a mommy and me class. And, my youngest was a little bit older, than a mommy and me, if you will. But I mean, he was 7. So I was like, can he come? And so we went. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stick it out, because she had like noon yoga, hatha yoga in the park. So I had gone to one of those, and then I met Miranda, the other gal, shortly after. And still to this day, I go to Wednesday hatha at noon. Well, right now I'm teaching it, but until Miranda comes
I know
back.
you become a teacher of it.
Yes.
Fantastic. Full circle.
But that's how it got started 7 years ago. I've
Excuse me.
saw the benefits and how it just changed my whole dynamic on how I saw life, my relationships, with my children, being able to release that anger I had from my stroke. I was very angry. I was very angry with the doctor. I was very angry at life. I had a lot of, why me? Why is this happening to me? And my mother was like, maybe you're the soldier to teach somebody else a lesson.
Right.
You're strong enough, God found you strong enough to withstand this trial for somebody else's lesson to learn.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't
look
want to
at
be
you,
that
Keisha.
soldier anymore.
But look at how far you've come. My goodness, to have to learn to walk, to speak, to wash yourself again, and look at you. No one would ever know that
Right.
that extreme rehab that you had to go through.
Right.
And then I understand. I too just cut drugs immediately, heroin and methamphetamine. So I understand. Don't do that, guys. Get assistance doing it. It's dangerous, but for some reason, it was a divine intervention. And then finding the way through these holistic alternative healing methods are just incredibly. It comes from yourself and it comes from nature. These healing tools, and look at you. I mean, you're living proof. I'm just overwhelmed of your story. Like, it's just amazing how far you've come, and now you teach the yoga. That's that's fantastic. And you didn't even know what it was 7 years ago, or didn't yeah, right, that's not me. Keisha, what's your go-to sort of healing tool?
My go-to healing tool,
Yeah.
honestly, is self-love.
Mhm.
Self-love.
And
That's
how do you
beautiful.
practice that? What is your
Yeah.
practice?
my practice. Well,
Mhm.
so my mantra that I use is all is love, and through love, all is healed. And
Beautiful.
just speaking those positive affirmations to myself. I'm not perfect. I do have bad days. When I'm exhausted, you could tell I've had a stroke because my words will slow down. I have a hard time finding my thoughts, etc. But it's not, I'll cut myself down for that, or I'll have, like a little slip back and I'm feeling sorry for myself or
Right.
whatnot. But, doing my yoga, doing my meditation, taking myself on dates, buying myself flowers, having a bath, and, kind of washing off my day, practices like that. Spending time with my children and my family, like having that support system is so important. And I know a lot of people don't have that. And I was fortunate enough to have that. And so that's another reason why I wanted to teach and instruct yoga and meditations, because I wanted to be that support for others. Because I saw the effects of how important it is to have a cheerleader and to cheer you on. Yes, you have to do the work for yourself, but just to know, like, hey, I'm here. I am cheering you on. I believe in you wholeheartedly. Like, you got this. Just keep going. Keep going.
I think that's so important too, to have a cheerleader for yourself. Because like you said, everything ebbs and flows, good day, bad day, good practice, doing it all the time, slacking off, that kind of thing. And then your cheerleader really helps you stay on target. So I appreciate that. With your meditation, do you have a specific schedule? Like, do you do it first thing in the morning? Do you do it whenever? Are you, do you have a real practice set up? Are you kind of just taking classes?
So last year was a little bit of a rough year for me. And so I had slipped on my self-care. So right now we're in a 30-day meditation
Challenge.
workshop challenge, if you will. Yep. So I do it in the morning, and then the meditation challenge is at night. So just getting back into that routine. I will do it twice a day, and when in the morning.
Great.
In my morning, before I even get out of my bed, I name 3 things at the least that I'm very grateful for in that moment. That kind of sets the tone for my day.
Yeah.
And then I'll go do my thing, run the kids to school, make my tea, go meditate.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then at night, I make my tea, and then I do our meditation and go to sleep. So it's just,
So what you pointed to, sorry.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
what?
I think, sorry, yeah, there's a lag there. I think it's so important what you said. You're human, because you look like an amazing story, but out and around and around, and every day you have to practice, as you said, and you are human. You said you had a tough year last year, and you've got to get back in the rhythm of it. I mean, that's so human. It's so good to see that you're owning it, that we do have hiccups, guys. We do have days where it just sucks, and other days which you're full on, and then maybe even a week, month, a year, who knows? But it's never about giving up. Like, you kept going, Keisha, and you'll keep on going, and you will keep on going, because you know the power of these healing tools. I mean, what an inspiration you are, and being 100% authentic in owning your journey. I mean, it's so inspiring, really. What a woman.
Thank you.
Good healer out there.
Thank you.
If you had something to say, Darcy, do you want to say something? Sorry, were you going to ask something?
No, I was just going to say, I kind of did something similar for my son when he was a kid, when he was 4 years old. He had he got pneumonia twice, and then he ended up with asthma. And I think his asthma actually was already brewing, because we were in New York City during 9/11, and I think all that stuff in the air when he was a baby. I think we were right in the wind path of it all. We got a lot of it. And then the neighbors downstairs decided to renovate their house, and they ripped everything up, and we got all this old drywall dust, and I had to put towels down all over our place and have air purifiers on. And he was just a baby, and I think all that really got in his lungs. So he was asthmatic when he was a little kid, and I took him to the doctor, and they gave him, at one point he was 5, and he had 5 medicines, 5 different medications. And he was awake and aware enough to tell me, Mommy, that medicine makes me sad. It was making him depressed. I said, what do you mean? He goes, when I take that, makes me sad. So I asked the doctor if I could take him off of that medicine. And then I just said, you know what? I don't want him to grow up and be dependent on inhalers, because the more you take them, the more you need them, and all this kind of stuff. So I went to a Chinese doctor of traditional Chinese medicine and said, help me get my son off of these medications, and let's deal with his pneumonia and his asthma. And, you have to brew that dark brew of herbs, right?
Yeah.
And my kid was such a
Tastes
sport
delicious
about it.
too.
Oh, it's really nasty. And you can't mix it with honey. He said, don't mix it with honey.
No.
Because it does something to it. The only thing we could mix it with was, I want to say, mango juice or papaya juice, something like that. Not even apple juice. You can't use apple juice. Anyway, I would give him a little tiny cup, and we did this game, where you take the syringe thing for the kids' medication. We would shoot the tea down his throat really fast. And he was really sporty about it. But anyway.
Oh, bless him. Oh, sweet guy.
He's like, come on, go. Choo! But he's not on an inhaler at all. He's not on an inhaler. And he, once in a while, will get, if he gets a really bad chest cold, like a really bad cold, it goes right to his chest. And so he has to really pay attention to that, because it's his area of weakness. And so he has to really take good care of his body, his lungs, etc., so that he doesn't reoccur. So I'm just kind of have this affinity for your understanding that you wake up and you go, this is not the right path for me. And then you have to, it does require though, right? Tell me if this is true. It does require a lot of participation on your part to not take that medication and to continue your self-healing, because unlike our pill taking society, we want the magic pill and now we're better, right?
Get that instant gratification.
Right. You had to really take control and be very focused, right? Very focused on your own healing. So that's really impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, very.
Really impressive.
Keisha, it's a bit of a spot question.
One last little thing was that I've changed the phrase.
Yes.
Are you okay, Jemima? Yeah, there you are. I changed the phrase. I don't use the word I have anymore. Like, I don't use like I have asthma or I have illnesses. Instead, I like to say I'm dealing with whatever the health issue is and healing from it. So you were dealing with a stroke, I'd say, and healing from it. And that's just really brilliant.
Yes, I use like like if I have a cold is on me.
A cold is on me, exactly.
A cold is on me. Yeah. A sickness
Yeah.
is on me. Depression is on me, like that,
Right. So you don't own it. It's just
Own it.
superimposed over you so that you can deal with it and let it
Yep.
go.
And now I'm healed from it. So bye.
Well, thank you for reinforcing that for me, ladies. I forget to do that a lot. Hey, Keisha, a bit of a spot question here for you, my love. If for the people out there struggling with something major or minor, who just struggling, what's something you say to them? Something very important that you can say to them. I know, sorry, I didn't tell you I was going to ask that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. First and foremost, being an advocate for yourself. You know your own body better than any doctor, any other person. Like, you know it. If you feel something isn't right, you can seek help. And if that help isn't helping you, keep continuing to find something that until it works for you. Also, another big thing is you have to put in the work. If you want it, if you want to be healed, you have to put in the work. Some days it's only 10%. Other days it's 1,000%, but you've got to keep pushing forward.
Beautiful.
And,
thank you.
Just showing up, like those 10% days. Today, I'm giving it the best damn 10% of my life today,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's still being productive.
Resting.
Resting when you need to. Rest is being productive. Your body has to rejuvenate. Another thing is giving yourself grace. We are human beings in a society where we want that instant gratification and a magic pill to cure everything. And we're supposed to have everything figured out. And I'm 41 years old. I still don't have everything figured out. I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. And and that's okay. We're not supposed to have it all figured out. That's part of our journey in this life, is to discover just all the joys and learn, lessons from I don't even want to call them failures, just our downfalls, if you will. Just learn those lessons and just keep discovering. There's just so much to discover in life. But it starts with you. It starts within you. You have the magic and everything you need already within you. You just have to discover it and believe in yourself. So.
Massive goosebumps. Oh, Keisha, bless you. That's fantastic. Thank you. What a gem you are. What an inspiration you are. I'm going to have a tear. You're just so encouraging for just being human, like you. I'm so inspired by you, really. Congratulations on your journey. Massive love to you. Yeah. Das, mate, let's pull this card for our beautiful Keisha.
Well, I pulled a couple, sorry, I was just pulling a couple of cards, but it's really interesting. So, sometimes the cards just fall out. So I think I pulled a progression here, which is kind of interesting. So we started with fear, and I said, tell me about Keisha, right? And so we started with fear, and then we moved to changes. And then we ended up with the heart chakra,
beautiful.
which makes a lot of sense with you talking about what's going on here, right? Starting with your fears and how it can trap us. And, it traps us in body, mind, and spirit, energetically, the whole 9 yards. And then working through our changes. And then where you are now is in your heart chakra. And so this is who you are when you grew up. Not who you want to be, or it's not the achievement that we want to focus on. It's what kind of person do we want to be when we grow up? And so look at how you've manifested becoming the person that you really want to be, rather than what is that, job or career or etc. Who do you want to be? Because the who you are is the person that manifests the right job. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Can you read the heart chakra, Das?
I can.
You
That was
can.
good.
You can. All right. That's good. Sorry, Keish. Having a
You're
moment. Having a
fine,
stage
you're
moment.
I know. Oh, by the way, this is the way we talk. Jemima and I talk to each other.
Bless.
So I'm using John Holland's Psychic Tarot deck today. That's the one.
Beautiful.
And so of course we know about heart chakra, right? And it's the color is green, the sound is yam, element is air. It's about the thymus gland, and the key words are I love. And that's
Beautiful.
that's your heart chakra. And so parallel to the heart, this chakra represents unconditional love, companionship, compassion, harmony, relationships, and healing. It is believed to be the link between your mind, body, and soul. Balancing this area takes a while, but you should allow all the time you need so the healing energy can get through and flow freely. By loving yourself and others, as well as learning forgiveness, you will become more attuned with spirit. And so
Beautiful.
that is where
Can't make that up. Can't make it up. That's perfect.
I know that's
Crazy.
the one that goes. I love it when the cards fall out of the deck.
Fly out. Yep.
Right. And you're sitting there talking about, I know I really have to learn to love myself. Of course,
Love.
because that's why it jumped out at you.
That one
Oh,
was a tough
Keisha.
one. That area was
Yeah.
really tough. I mean,
Was it?
really tough to love ourselves. I don't know why it's so hard. We're able to give so freely our love to everybody else, but to ourselves.
Yeah.
And
It's
no, you
amazing, isn't
can't
it?
pour from an empty cup. You can't.
No.
You cannot pour from an empty cup. Imagine loving yourself and then pouring out of that cup. How much more
So
love
much
you
love.
can give. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what I've been doing. And I'm like, wow, like I should have done this a long time ago. No.
Well, you're there to guide people along this journey, Keisha, and I'm so glad you're with us.
Me too.
Das, we're going to have to leave it there, guys. We could talk to you for hours. You'll come back and see us again, Keisha, please. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It's been such a wonderful gift to have you here, and Darcy, of course, you as usual. Everyone, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We shall see you next week. Keisha, bless you, Das. Mwah! Love you all. Peace out.
Come
Have a
back
good one.
again. Bye.
Yeah, come back again. Bye.